Today I'm going to show you all the gear that I carry on my truck, just in case something happens. This is not like a backup truck or anything like that, but more of a get home truck. Whatever happens on the road when I'm overlanding, so at least have the basics to get out of a situation and get home safely. And just real quick from outside, I'm not going to get too much into details, but the only modification that I've done to the truck is I lifted it 2 inches. I put a little bit bigger tire. These are 33 inches with 17 inches rims. That allow me to air down to 20 psi safely when I'm overlanding. And another improvement that I did on the truck was changing the headlights, the original halogen for these LED ones, and when driving at night they make a huge difference. I also have Bilstein shock absorber, the 5100. I have lights around the bed and a radio antenna for the radio setup. And a set of MaxTrack tracks, which I've been using at least 8 to 10 times. This is something that I always carry with me. Next, I'm going to show you the gear that I carry inside the truck. Like right here in the glove box, I always carry a flashlight, but it's a flashlight which is a flood style, which is much better than using just a regular spotlight, especially when working on the truck at night. It illuminates much more broader the area that you're working on. Huge difference compared with the spotlight, big time. Next, moving into the center console. So this is the view of the items that I have. I always carry a notebook, Swiss Army knife, some keys and a cable to charge the phone, safety glasses. This is another knife which has a longer blade than the Swiss Army knife. I have always a couple of magazines for my firearm. I also carry I think this is a 5-watt laser, which is really good when you are at night camping, just to point to the stars. But also if you get lost, this laser will get to probably 3 to 4 miles, and it's really good to just point your location if you're lost and somebody's looking for you. I carry a pen. This is a detector marker that I use to check for counterfeit notes. So when I'm buying something off Facebook and I go to meet somebody and it's gonna pay me with cash, I check with this marker if the money that I'm getting is actually real. Tape measure, which have been used quite a lot, especially when I go somewhere to buy wood. It's always very helpful to have a tape measure. And this is one of the 2 OBD2 readers that I have. And I have 2 because with this one I can do some things that I cannot do with the other one, and the other way around. This one is actually Wi-Fi, and you need an app to run it. But it's very useful to check for codes and clear the codes, just to have an idea what's happening if you have a check engine light. Alright, I'm gonna get into the second level, where I always carry my large car scanner. This is OBD2 scanner, which I use quite a lot because this is already kind of like an old truck. So once in a while it throws me a check engine light, and this is really good to have with you anywhere, wherever you're traveling, especially when I'm traveling far away from home. If something happened, I just want to make sure that I can check what's going on, if it's critical or not, and maybe just buy whatever part I need to buy to get it fixed quickly on the road. I always carry a NocoBoost XL, which is very helpful to jump the car if the battery is dead. I use this thing in my truck at least 3 times, helping others probably 3 or 4 times. And this one has a built-in flashlight, and you can also charge your phone through the USB ports. And this one comes with the clamps for the battery. This thing is definitely a must-have. The next thing may bring some nostalgia to some people, but it's an old school Michelin Road Atlas. I have this 10 years in my truck, and I used it for the first time 2 weeks ago when I was driving in West Texas, and all of a sudden there is no coverage, no signal, so I couldn't use Google. And that was game changer. So I could go to the map and just see where I was and what road I was, and once I got to an intersection, I was able to identify if I have to go left or right. This is what we all boomers and Gen X we've been using for most of our lives until iPhone came into the game. And if you never used it before, it's good to just get familiar with how it works. If you're somewhere near Leaky, Texas, you're gonna need one of these. Another item that I carry is this little radio that I connect with this cable to the UHF VHF antenna in the truck. And I use a few times when I'm overlanding with my friend to talk with them, or just to tune into the local repeaters when I'm driving or commuting to work, just to know what's happening and talking to people. But yeah, this little one with 8 watts is plenty, has plenty power just to reach out the local repeater around my area. Something that I do when I'm traveling, especially off-roading, is using the app Repeater Book. Check what are the closest repeaters where I'm going to be driving through, and just note them in a piece of paper, because if something happens and I need help, I can always try to hit those repeaters and seek help through them. Moving here in the back of the truck, I always carry, this is 2 gallons or 2.5 gallons of water, 10 liters. This jug comes in 2 versions, 2.5 and 5 gallons, and it's BPA free, so it's good for drinking. And one of the things that I like when camping is this opening is, I believe, like 4 inches. So if you have one of these shower heads with a built-in pump at the end, you can stick the pump inside and just take a shower. Or what I use this the most is to wash my hands after work. Just open here a little bit and the vent, and then you can just wash your hand easily. Just like that. I carry this roll of tools. These are very basic tools. So this is a super basic set that I carry with me all the time, except for when I'm going off-road, where I bring like a big toolbox. But this is just the basic to change the battery, tighten a cable, or just the very basic repairs. No big wrenches. This is actually the biggest wrench I have. And to me, this is the bare minimum to carry always. And as I say, when I'm off-roading, I'll bring a big toolbox with some power tools, big ratchet and sockets in case I need to replace a CV axle or do something on the steering. But this kit is perfect for small repairs on the go. Here under the seat, I carry a fire extinguisher. And this is a small class ABC fire extinguisher, just to use in case a car get on fire, or just to help somebody on the road that may get his car on fire. At least at the beginning, you can pull a small fire with this. And the last 2 things that I carry here in the back, which is not under the seat, is a first aid kit. I'm gonna make a separate video about this first aid kit, which is mainly trauma oriented. I made it relatively small, that fits on a Pelican 1200 box, and just the basics for trauma. Bleeding, securing broken bones. So if you have like basic first aid education, this is always good to have, just to help yourself, help a family member or somebody in the road until a professional comes to help. And before I get under the seat, here I have my, what I call get home bag. Here I carry, I'm gonna make a video just for this bag because there's a ton of things in here, but I have batteries, radio communications, food, water filtration, tools, defense, quite a lot of things. This backpack is the Berlestock little brother. You can get the big side pouches to turn it into the Sky Crane, I think it's called. But all the gear that I want to carry with me in my truck fits in this one, which actually is really nice. Yeah, and the idea of this backpack is if I get stranded far away from where I can find help, I can just get the backpack and start hiking, looking for help. And if I know the hike is going to be 5 hours, then I will leave a lot of stuff in the truck. But with the food that I have here and the water that I always carry in the truck, I probably have enough to survive probably two days hiking. Oh, by the way, if somebody break the glass to steal the bag, I have it always attached with this or secure with this lock. There's no way they can get it out quickly. And here under the seat, the rear seat, I have this Duha bucket where I carry more stuff. All right, let's check under the seat. So the way I have it set it up is in this bag I have all the recovery gear, then I have some clothing to repair puncture, and over there I have a jumper cable that I always carry, even though it's a redundancy because I have the Noco battery, but just in case. So let's take a look to the recovery gear. So the recovery bag, to be honest, I've used it more often helping others than myself, but I always carry like a big strap. I think this is up to 33,000 pounds. Small strap to secure loads on the bed of the truck. I have soft shackles, metal shackles, a snatch block, wire cutter in case I have to drive through a fence and I need to cut it, or if a fence get caught in the shaft, I can cut it with this. Gloves for safety, some rope, which is always helpful, and this is what I use from ARB to deflate the tires. This is super handy. Instead of being poking the valve when the rating, in my case, usually from 40 to 20 psi. This is super good tool. I also carry some tinder in case I need to set up a fire. I also carry a fixed blade knife. This is the K-Bar BK2, made in New York, and this is super thick, which is great to split wood with batoning with another piece of wood. So this is I've used it quite a lot, and it's very useful. Also, you can use it as a hammer. Here in the back has a protrusion, so it's very handy little knife. Pretty badass. Look at how thick it is. All right, let's check the tire repair kit. So this kit is has pretty much everything that I need. It has a compressor that I use to aerate the tires after going off-road, or if I have a flat, I can always try to add more air with this one. This is a little bit underrated for this truck, but it works. It gets the job done. It gets a little bit too hot, but it works. Then it has this extension, and then multiple ways to connect the compressor to the truck. I always use 12 volts, but you can use directly to the battery with this connector. It comes with a slime bottle, which is half already because I use it on the tractor once, and then it's a bunch of little tools, some valves, caps, and here in the back it has the plugs to basically fix holes with this tool. It's good to know how it works before you need to use it, so very handy tool. At some point I think I'm gonna upgrade the compressor to something a little bit bigger, because this kit is perfect for, I mean, it works great with this truck, but inflating the tires from 20 psi to 40, all four of them, it takes a while. And if you get stuck in mud or sand, having a saddle like this one is very helpful, just to create a ramp in front of the wheels where you can stack rocks, logs, or the mud tracks just to help out. And this one is collapsible, made of aluminum, and it can store in the bag easily. So here I carry some extra emergency water that I change quite often. I have an inverter, and the reason why I have this inverter is because I can connect it here in the back of the truck and use 110 volt appliances. Just a little one, 300 watts. Here you can see the jumper cables in case the Noco battery is dead. And then I have some clothes. I have a high-vis jacket, I have a pair of jeans, heavy-duty winter gloves, I have a polar fleece. And here in the back you can see I have my favorite pair of shoes. These are the Millet Friction for hiking. So this is a full change of clothes. In case I get wet, I can just change everything and be warm. So I also carry this rain jacket in case it's raining. So very handy. So yeah, boot, jacket. Oh, look at this. I even have underwear. Sexy Calvin Klein. You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. I also carry with me these binoculars. These are not top of the line, just a normal Barska 1050. I think you can get one of these for $75, $100, but they're pretty good just to see, you know, what's happening 500 yards away. And I definitely will bring this with me if I will have to take like a long hike looking for help. Look at that deer. Oh wow, it's been a while since I used this binocular last time. I also carry like 3 or 4 packs of Datrex emergency ration. Every package is 2,400 calories, which is enough for one day. And this is SOLAS approved, meaning this is approved in the maritime industry. When you see a container ship, cruise liner, those orange boat where people jump on if the main ship is sinking, they have a bunch of these rations. They actually taste pretty good, and most importantly, made in the US of A. And this is what I have in my truck. You may have some other items. Just put them in the comments, and so we can all learn from each other. So hopefully we can make our trucks as ready as possible in case of an emergency. Thank you for watching.